Next up is Ron Hood. Ron lives in Asheville, Ohio. Ron is a former 4-term state representative and executive director of membership communications for the National Right to Work Committee. He graduated from the Ohio State University of Business in 1991 with a bachelor's degree in business administration with dual majors in marketing and economics. In 2001, Ron married Michelle Marie Dean of Xenia, soon after relocating to Central Ohio. Ron and his wife have 2 children, daughter Ella and son Edward, and a 3rd child will be this spring. Congratulations. You have 3 minutes.
Thank you. Are you there? Hello? Hello? Oh, there we are. Thank you, Warren. And thanks to everyone who came out and is interested in this race. I come at a different perspective than most folks would. I served in the state legislature for 8 years, and I served under Republican control. The Democrats were not in any position, Republican governor, Republican House, Republican Senate. I was never in a situation where the Democrats could block anything we Republicans wanted to do. And that was a very different environment than what we're seeing in Washington today. So my perspective was, as a state representative, when I was trying to put forth legislation, it wasn't the Democrats that were trying to stop me, it was the Republicans. And I think therein lies the problem. Yeah, we need to get Barack Obama out of the White House, no question about it. We need to get Zach Space out of Congress, no question about it. But what if the answer is to replace them with milquetoast Republicans that are not going to do what needs to be done in this country, then we're not going to get any further. And when I was in the state legislature, I led the first ever discharge petition, and the only one to date that was successful in the first ever partial birth abortion law in any state in the United States. The Republican Speaker of the House tried to block it. I went around the State House and around the area restaurants and gathered signatures to force a discharge petition on the floor, and we passed the partial birth abortion ban in Ohio, the first in the nation, and that led to many other successes. When it came to our constitutional rights to keep and bear arms, I introduced the Vermont-style concealed carry bill, where you have the freedom to defend yourself, and you don't have to get permission from the government in order to do that. Republican leadership wanted nothing to do with that and blocked my bill from ever even having a hearing. Then we also under Republican leadership, we had the 2 largest budget increases in Ohio history in the late '90s, and in the early 2000s, we had the 2 largest tax increases in Ohio history. Not Democrats. Democrats were powerless to do anything. It was under Republicans. So if the reason why Barack Obama is in the White House is because of 12 years of Republican impotence in Congress. If we're just going to go back to that, another bill I did was a bill to ban homosexual adoptions in the state of Ohio. Once again, Republican Speaker of the House didn't even assign my bill to a committee, let alone even have a hearing. So it wasn't. So if we're going to get Republicans like we've had the last 12 years, who needs Democrats? Thanks so much.
Next up is Ombre Liggett. Mr. Liggett lives in Dover, Ohio. Ombre is the owner of, or is a native of Tuscarawas County and resides in Dover with his wife of 15 years, Marcy. Ombre has pastored a church of the Harvest, also in Dover, for the past 16 years. He has been in Christian ministry for over 20. Besides pastoring, Mr. Liggett has owned and operated several businesses over the years. Ombre has worked and volunteered in his local community at many levels.
At first, I'd like to introduce my wife. She's sitting right here in the front, and just appreciate her so much. And so that's a face to the name. You're going to hear a lot of us articulate things that are very similar to one another. We stand very close to each other on a lot of the issues. You know, pro-family, pro-life, pro-guns. I'm a life member of the NRA and concealed weapon carry holder as well. We're going to talk about shrinking government, securing our borders, national defense. We all agree on a lot of that stuff. But the answer for our country is not Democrat, and the answer for the United States is not Republican. The answer is the Constitution. That's the answer that we've got to get back to. And I believe if we don't peg our country back to the authority and the restraints that the Founding Fathers intended, we're going to be in big trouble. We're going to continue to drift out of control. And those restraints weren't just meant for one side of the aisle. They were meant for both sides of the aisle. I'm a principled constitutional conservative. And I believe that when Thomas Jefferson said that in question of power, then let no more confidence be heard in man, but bind down his mischief with the chains of the Constitution. See, I don't just believe that the Constitution is a good idea, but my entire platform is built upon the conviction that we have ignored it, not just this administration, not just the Democrats, but as we've been talking about already, both administrations on both sides of the aisle that have existed in our country have drifted from the authority that the Founding Fathers set. There's a reason why that authority is there, and it's to keep our government in check, to keep our government under control. Albert Einstein said this. He said that the definition of insanity is to keep doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. If we continue to send the same style of leadership or representatives to Capitol Hill, we're going to continue to get the same kind of results. If we just send a conservative Republican, then we're going to continue to head the same direction. Now, I'm not a lawyer, and I've got good friends that are lawyers, so it's not like I'm an enemy with lawyers, but 80% of our representatives right now are lawyers. That's why our legislation looks the way it does. When our Founding Fathers got done building a government, it was 4 pages. Now you ask them to do any law, the simplest of laws, it's hundreds, if not thousands. The bill they just passed, I believe, is about 2,700 pages long. But that's unsustainable. And it's irresponsible. I'm not a career politician. I'm not doing this because I've got an ambition to build a legacy for myself or make something for myself. We're in a crisis. I believe we're in the largest crisis possibly in our nation's history. And I've stepped forward because I believe that people of principle and character need to apply themselves and present themselves to say, I'm willing to go and fight and work with all of my conviction and my principles, set morality and constitutional conviction to do what I know this nation needs.
Amen, brother.
Thank you.